intro music fades. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a tale that echoes through time. A story about an extraordinary decision made by one man that didn't just impact his family, but forever reshaped the destiny of an entire tribe. We're talking about the hunter who refused to kill. This isn't just an old legend. It's a powerful reminder of how promises, compassion, and courage can truly change the world. So, grab your favorite drink, settle in, because this is a story you won't want to miss. Our journey begins in a land sculpted by towering peaks and ancient forests, home to the Stonehoof tribe. For generations, their survival depended on the skill of their hunters, and among them, none was more revered than Eric. Eric was a hunter of unmatched prowess, his aim true, his tracking instincts legendary. He could read the wind, understand the whispers of the forest, and always brought back enough game to feed his people. He was the epitome of what a tribal leader should be: strong, capable, and dedicated to his community. Yet, Eric was more than just a hunter. He was a husband and a father to a bright-eyed boy named Kael. Kael adored his father, often accompanying him on short forays into the woods, learning the names of plants and the calls of birds. But Kael was also a sensitive soul. He saw the beauty in every creature, from the smallest beetle to the mighty elk. One crisp morning, when Kael was still very young, he witnessed his father bring down a magnificent stag. The sight of the animal's noble spirit fading, its large, gentle eyes, reflecting the dying light, deeply affected him. He ran to his father, tears streaming down his face, clutching Eric's leg and pleading, "Father, please, must we always take life to live?" Eric, accustomed to the harsh realities of survival, was initially taken aback. He knelt, trying to explain that this was the way of their people, the cycle of life and death in the wild. But Kael's innocence, his pure, unadulterated compassion, touched something profound within Eric. He looked at his son, then at the fallen stag, and for the first time, truly saw the sacrifice involved. In that moment, a promise was born, not just to Kael, but to himself. Eric looked into his son's tearful eyes and said, "My son, I promise you, I will find another way. We will find a way to thrive without taking life." This was a radical, almost unthinkable promise for a hunter in a tribe reliant on game. How could he, the greatest hunter, refuse to kill? The very foundation of their existence seemed to shake with his words. But Eric was a man of his word. He began to spend less time tracking game for the kill and more time observing. He studied the forest with new eyes, not just as a provider of prey, but as a vast, living pantry. He learned which plants were edible, which berries were sweet, and which roots offered sustenance. He discovered hidden groves of fruit trees, patches of nourishing fungi, and even the secrets of cultivating wild grains. His fellow tribesmen, initially bewildered and even concerned, watched with a mixture of skepticism and curiosity. Some whispered that Eric had lost his way, that his compassion had made him weak. How could a tribe survive on berries and roots alone? The elders, steeped in tradition, voiced their concerns, fearing starvation and the anger of the forest spirits if their established ways were abandoned. But Eric, with Kael often by his side, patiently demonstrated his findings. He showed them how to identify safe foods, how to prepare them to maximize their flavor and nutrition, and how to store them for the lean winter months. Slowly, hesitantly, some of the younger members and those most open to change began to follow Eric's lead. They foraged alongside him, learning the new ways. They discovered that while hunting was a feast or famine endeavor, foraging offered a steady, reliable source of food. They found new delights in their diet: sweet wild honey, juicy berries, nourishing greens, and hardy roots. Things they'd overlooked for generations. The initial hunger pangs feared by many never materialize. Instead, the tribe's diet became more varied and surprisingly healthier. But Eric's promise didn't stop at just finding new food sources. He realized that true sustainability meant living in harmony with their environment. He taught his people how to tend to the forest, not just take from it. They learned to plant seeds, to prune wild fruit trees, and to manage the growth of edible plants, ensuring future harvests. They built intricate irrigation systems to water their growing patches of cultivated wild grains, transforming parts of the forests into sustainable food gardens. As the seasons turned, the Stonehoof tribe began to transform. No longer were their young men risking life and limb-tracking dangerous beasts. Instead, they were skilled foragers, cultivators, and stewards of the land. The women, already adept at gathering, became experts in plant identification and preparation. The entire community became more interconnected, working together to nurture their environment. Their shelters became sturdier, their clothing woven from plant fibers, and their tools crafted for agriculture and construction rather than just hunting. The most profound change, however, was within the tribe itself. The constant struggle for survival through hunting, the fear of an unsuccessful hunt, and the sorrow of taking life slowly receded. A new sense of peace and cooperation settled over the Stonehoof tribe. Their spiritual practices shifted, celebrating the abundance of the earth and the interconnectedness of all life. They developed a deeper respect for every creature, no longer viewing them solely as prey, but as fellow inhabitants of their shared world. Their stories and songs began to reflect this new harmony, celebrating the quiet strength of the earth and the wisdom of living gently upon it. Years passed, and Kael grew into a wise and compassionate leader, embodying the very promise his father had made. He became a teacher, passing on the knowledge of sustainable living to the next generation, ensuring that Eric's legacy would endure. The Stonehoof tribe flourished, not through conquest or brute strength, but through ingenuity, compassion, and a profound respect for life. Their population grew, their health improved, and their culture became rich with art, music, and a deep connection to their land. Other tribes, who had once viewed Eric's decision with skepticism, began to observe the Stonehoof tribe's prosperity. They saw a people well-fed, peaceful, and thriving, even in times when traditional hunting tribes struggled with dwindling game. Slowly, curious scouts came seeking knowledge, and Eric, now an elder statesman, along with Kael, gladly shared their wisdom. The promise Eric made to his son didn't just change one tribe. It began to ripple outward, influencing neighboring communities and fostering a new understanding of survival and coexistence. So, what can we take from the story of the hunter who refused to kill? It's a powerful testament to the idea that true strength isn't always about dominance, but often about adaptation, empathy, and challenging long-held beliefs. Eric's promise, born from a child's innocent plea, wasn't a sign of weakness, but an act of incredible foresight and courage. He dared to imagine a different future, a more harmonious way of life, and in doing so, he secured the prosperity and peace of his people for generations to come. This story reminds us that sometimes the greatest leaps forward come from the most unexpected places. From questioning the status quo, and from listening to the quiet voice of compassion within us, it teaches us about the profound impact of a single promise, the power of a father's love, and the lasting legacy of choosing a path of peace and sustainability. It's a tale that continues to inspire us to look for alternative solutions, to respect all life, and to build a future that is not just about survival, but about flourishing in harmony with the world around us. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through such an inspiring legend. I hope this story resonated with you as much as it did with me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next adventure. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep making a positive impact.